I would start my presentation from the point that, from the name of conference, that on the road to the Vision Zero is already achievement, because 20 years ago we couldn't even think about Vision Zero. It was more war on the road. I'm talking about Lithuania. In figures, it was about near 800 deaths per year in 25. After a decade, we had decreased this number 3 times, and now we under the average of European Union. Well, this is our journey on our road to the Vision Zero, and step by step we are approaching. We indicate we halved the number of fatalities in Lithuania, and now our promise to road users, from institutions, from the government, it's again to make a half, comparing 2020 with 2030. And we already succeeded about 30%, and still a lot of needs to be done. And we can see in our journey that it was 5 years in the queue, then we were stuck in numbers. After a huge decrease, it was 5 years in line without any change, and few things happened in 2020. Everybody of us suffered from COVID, but at the same time in Lithuania we deployed our first average speed systems on the national roads, and it is proven by figures that it was a huge impact on particular stretches where this measures, road safety measures, enforcement measures were deployed. Officially, police reported last year in 2024 that near 40% of fatal accidents are caused by overspeeding on the roads. Well, about this number we can discuss a lot, but this number plays every year, but comes to about half of all deaths on the roads, and it gives feeling that something should be happen also with this cancer on the roads. Is speed. It's one of some main cancers like alcohol, destructive driving, and so on. And I would like to show some practical, some X-ray pictures from our client, from our roads. This is the picture which reflects, I made some examination of our motorway, A1, where no enforcement systems are deployed. This is the highest technical category road, 2+2 road, divided and with installed barriers. And the designed speed is 130 kilometers per hour here. And year after year, I just checking this traffic counter data. I see that there is different and decreasing in drivers, in number of drivers who overspeed there. But still, you can see that per month is around 1,200, more than 1,200 drivers who overspeed more than 30 kilometers per hour, but literally they speed twice. And there is just a very fragmental picture from Excel where we can see the real speeds. It's, our counter doesn't shows speeds over 250. When you see 250, it means most probably the speed was more than 250 there. And is it bad or good? Because we are on the motorway, is the most safe category of the road. But when we examining fatal accident and all these dots in red and black on the stretch, we can count in 20 kilometers or 15 kilometer stretch at least 10 deaths per 10 years. And it shows that it is maybe not directly proven, but it shows that the most safe road is actually not very safe. But at the same time we see realistic speeds there. And then those who argue us that enforcement is not needed, at least on the motorways, I would vote for opposite opinion. Well, coming back to the average speed cameras, we had a pilot project in 2018. And it was 25 stretches covered by the systems. The stretches was selected by our transport institute, and actually it was more guessing which place should be equipped, where average speed systems should be deployed. And at that time we didn't have any methodology for this. It was just draft of the methodology. After deploying of pilot stretches, we created our first methodology for average speed cameras, and we succeeded in 2 years, deployed 106 sectors. And after first year of service of the stretches was a wonderful year. Before, the average deaths on the 106 sectors was 16 deaths per year, and that after the first year we saw that it is absolutely zero on 105 sectors. And only in one sector was a few deaths, but caused by road users, pedestrians who was totally under influence of alcohol. And currently we have covered around 4% of state significant roads with these systems. The main key criteria for installing of average speed cameras in current methodology is consequences of traffic accident, and actually we're still under adopting new methodology, but in the last version it was focus was on the deaths on the roads, because we still in this case, in this measure, we still focused on reactive approach. It just, the purpose is to treat those sectors who is where the concentration of deaths is the biggest one. Also, the average annual daily traffic is one of the criteria, and giving some points. Also, usage of driving, unsafe driving speed is likely the main contributing factor in accidents, but this criteria, works with the reports which police draft in the first stage after road accidents, and some of police officers writing the first reason that it was overspeeding, the second one didn't write it, and there are some debates about this criteria. And one of criteria also is overtaking restriction on the road. I'm talking about horizontal restriction, not about barriers. And in our case, there is no criteria related with noise. It's too early, maybe speak. In our case, no criteria with greenhouse emission reducing on the network. But it also could be in favor. We will see that it's one of possible criteria for selection of stretches for deploying of the system, and really realistic criteria could be. The main key slide, I guess, talking about our experience using of the system is efficiency in reducing the mortal road accident. And after a few years, we can state that it comes to 60% for deaths on the roads, and comparing that the system is cost efficiency is comparable with deploying of very difficult engineering solution, like for example even roundabout or the rest one. It's completely, I would call it cheap measure, which gives a huge efficiency for treating those sectors, especially those who is not on the plan, on the list of reconstructions, of other priorities where we will come with another measures. So it also the worth thing to say that when we comes to with average speed cameras, the first thing what we're doing is just checking, have we any plan for this stretch? If we will not come in 5 years or more, we come there or trying to come there with average speed systems. So what is the picture in CEDAR countries? It was an examination. The questionnaire was sent regarding the system usage in CEDAR countries, and 16 of members declared the positive test that they have average speed cameras in practice. One member supply maybe only small amount of the systems, another use a lot. And we can see that Lithuania is one of those countries who use comparably with network. We have 21,000 of kilometers of state roads, and in our case, as I mentioned, is covered 4%. It's a very small amount, but giving a huge impact on our journey to the Vision Zero. Again, estimated efficiency of average speed systems in Europe, it comes at least the minimum efficiency declared was 50%. The maximum efficiency which was declared is 100%. And efficiency related with injuries, it's a bit, the minimum is a little bit less, it's about 30%, but it comes also to 70% in some states. In practice, talking about the length of average speed systems in Europe, it's already covered more than 72,000 kilometers, counting all 16 countries in Europe, in CEDAR countries. And talking about distance, you know, we had a lot of practical questions in the beginning. Which distance of average speed cameras section is most efficient? Where it could be deployed in the settlement? Can be deployed in the settlement, or it's more rural measure? So we can see that there are a lot of different practices, but the shortest distance is around 1 kilometer in practice. And the longest distance is 32 kilometers in other countries. In Lithuania, we actually have, it's I guess maybe in Poland, 32 kilometers, but it depends on how long, in practice, now we can say that how long the homogeneous section is. For sure, on the high technical category road, we have very long homogeneous sections. In maybe settlement, we have maybe short problematic stretches. So it's depend where we come to treat the problem. And we can see that 6 respondents said yes, the average speed cameras could be applied in urban, but in practice part of these countries so far didn't use it in the settlement. Usually it's applied in non-urban areas. And also very interesting thing, can the speed vary in the section? And in practice, 9 countries said that no, in their practice it can't vary. And in 5 respondents said yes, it can vary. It means if on the stretch you have different speed, 90, 70, again 90, you can calibrate your system and you can enforce and apply it in practice. So it's also interesting thing, practical thing. Well, as we already today touched road working zones, very, also problematic places, and especially on the high speed roads. 6 respondents say yes, they apply, or they can apply, or it's possible according to the methodology, but not tested yet, and so on. So far we didn't test it, and it's worth to say most probably that it's not it's mobile systems. Sometimes we talk about constant stretches where we deploy our system on not movable, let's say, and some countries already use mobile systems which could be moved to the road working zone and calibrated to the 50 or 60 or 70 permissible speed limit, and could be successfully applied. And we already also had a huge problem on the motorway when we comes to the working zone, apply a particular traffic management plan, decreasing speed from 130 to 70, but in practice nobody care. Everybody still keep driving 130. So this measure also gives some it sounds promisable. If we have an innovation, and we would like to test one of this mobile system in Lithuania as well, this or second year. And after collecting answers from the respondents regarding the possible criteria or criteria which is applied in their methodologies, you can see the immense number of different criteria, and you can see road safety inspection data, you can see sound reduction, you can see air quality, maybe not reduction, but helping to keep it well. And actually that's it. If you have practical questions, we can chat about that. And already the figure which also mentioned before, 8 pillars of road safety, and this is 8 benefits of average speed cameras. And the main and the most actual for us now is decreasing of serious road accident in our road, and the significance is proved by the numbers. And I do believe, despite that a lot of discussion in media among politicians that we will keep moving ahead and at least we'll apply the system in the most dangerous places, and even not like a reactive measure, but also during after construction apply it like a proactive measure. And one more different is signing off stretches. And you see, you didn't find the same marking, but it means the same. It's average speed systems on the road. Thank you very much.